Hello and God bless you. What I want to do is today look at Revelation, the seals of Revelation. I have a video on the seals look different, but the trumpets and the vials look the same. The trumpet and vial judgments in Revelation. What I want to do is look in the seals, and I was uh, reading the seals, and I thought, this almost looks to me as a summary of the whole rapture, or the whole tribulation rather. Um, and maybe not an event that happens right away after the rapture of the church, if you believe in a pre-tribulation rapture, but looking at this as the duration of the 7 years. So you can go through and read all the seals. They start at Revelation chapter 6, and they go out throughout the whole chapter. But if you get to the sixth seal, and listen carefully and tell me if these are two different things or if these are the same thing. Um, And I beheld, this is chapter 6, verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell upon the earth as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken by a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their place. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Now, when I'm reading this here, um, it's great men and chief captains, rich men. They're in the dens of the rocks of the mountains, and said, Fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne. Is this something, even this part alone, is this something that men would say? They're obviously in rebellion. Hide us from the face of he that sitteth on the throne and from the face of the Lamb, or the wrath of the Lamb. Would they be saying this during the beginning portion, or at least the very maybe first third of the tribulation period? Is this something that they would even say, or would this be something that would be toward the end, as if the seals were the duration of the tribulation period, and this is coming to the end of the tribulation, knowing that Jesus Christ is coming back to judge them? And I thought about that, and then I looked over here, and let me read this again for you, because here's some signs of what will be going on here. There's an earthquake um, in the six seals. And behold, when I saw a sixth seal uh, open, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth. That sounds like a solar eclipse. Sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. So we know this is like a lunar eclipse or a blood moon. Possibly this could be something that we've had two of them already. We're almost on the third one. Um, Not that I think that this blood moon is in this sequence of our blood moons necessarily. And the stars of heaven fell onto the earth. Okay, these are distinct things and signs that he's showing us that's going on during this time. So we have what looks like a solar eclipse, a blood moon, and stars falling. This isn't stuff that happens every day. Um, Especially you have that third sign there. You have the stars falling. If you turn over to chapter 24 of Matthew, and you start at verse 29, it says, immediately after the tribulation of those days, and this is speaking of the tribulation period, immediately after the tribulation of those days, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. It sounds very similar. Is it the same or is it different and just is similar? That's my question to you, is to challenge you to take a look at it. Because what we're seeing is throughout the seals, uh, John is seeing these seals happen, and then after that, he's seeing um, the seventh seal. He's seeing looks kind of like a pass off to or exchange to the trumpets being sounded, and then after the trumpets, he sees the vials. But this is what he's seeing in his overall picture of the tribulation period. Is this similar to Matthew, Mark, and Luke and John? Is this the same account happening three different occasions, or is this 21 judgments um, in sequence from one another? Or do each one of these sequence of judgments actually represent that 7 year tribulation period? I don't know the answer on this for sure, but this scripture here makes me wonder if the sixth seal but is a picture possibly of the end of the tribulation. I'm not sold on that idea, but with looking at the scriptures over in Matthew 24 makes me wonder if this is an indication of the tribulation coming to an end. Just something to think about, and get the Bible out and read it and see what you think. But not everything we've been taught was true. Um, the Bible is true, but the way that it's put together, that people interpret the way it's put together, um, is not always true to what the Word says. So I challenge you just to see what the Word says and take a look at it and see if we could parallel that up. If they're not scriptures that are supposed to go with one another, then they're not. But if they are, then this is giving us kind of a time frame of when this would happen within the tribulation period. If you're not saved by Jesus Christ today, I'll leave a prayer down in the description box down below. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.